Welcome to episode 2 of the Overthinking Hours podcast. It's your favorite co-host, Sean Merritt, aka TM9, aka the Dark Skin Poppy, aka DJ World Boss, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's talk to our other co-hosts. Introduce yourselves, fellas.
Yo, it's your boy Rodney. We back with another week of great conversation with my guys, man. So y'all stay tuned.
Yeah, you already know what it is, man. It's Jared, man. I'm just here for the show.
What up? It's G back in the building.
Yes, sir. It's your boy J to the H. We in the spot, man.
Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen, we have another good episode for you. We're gonna keep it nice and interesting, be a little looser, nice and calm. And to start us off, we're gonna talk about the NBA. We got our schedule back in the format back. We already know where the games are gonna be played, but we want to skip a little bit further to next season because obviously there's a lot of teams that need some changes. And the first thing we're going to look at is teams that we think need some different coaches, or at least coaches that we would hire if we was a franchise that was faltering. Me personally, I think Dwayne Casey should be one of the most sought after coaches in the league. I think he was a bit done wrong by the GOAT, LeBron James. He got fired because of LeBron, but that's it's tough when you go up against LeBron James. So I think he was a bit unfortunate for that, but that's just me. I don't think there's much other coaches except for a few like Kenny, but I'm gonna let my other co-hosts discuss that because they're a little more versed in the coaches that are available.
Casey is coaching the Pistons, right?
Hey, the Pistons not no franchise right now, bro. they better. I go lie. They better than the Knicks. They better than the Knicks. The Knicks. I don't know what the Knicks doing. They better than the Knicks, but the Pistons ain't really saying nothing, bro.
But that's James Dolan fall over there in New York.
New York City trash, man.
Whoa. The Knicks is trash. Don't say New York City trash.
What? New York City Knicks, man. The Knickerbockers.
Okay, all right, bet. How you feel about this, y'all? You awfully quiet.
Okay, well, while we wait for him,
Well, there's the first edit.
I think two people. I know Brooklyn's not a faltering, franchise, but I think these two coaches will fit in Brooklyn with that team over there. I think Ty Lue and I think Mark Jackson. And only reason why I say I think they fit because they're kind of like player coaches. They understand what it is to be a player, so they can identify and make it a lot easier for people that's on the floor. And I think Kyrie, with Ty Lue in Cleveland, they meshed well because I think Ty Lue gave him a lot more freedom than he's had these last couple of years. With Brad Stevens is all about being team oriented. Sometimes superstars need to have the freedom to just go. And I think Mark and Ty will definitely have the superstars when they're going, let them keep going. Like if KD has a crazy night where he's on fire on the offensive end, they just gonna keep they're gonna just keep force feeding. Even with Kyrie, even with somebody like Spencer, if he even stays, they got guys like that can carry a game. So I think those two coaches, I think they will be a good fit over there.
I think Rodney's right about Ty Lue in Brooklyn. I think that's who they're going to hire, honestly. I think it's just a match made in heaven, bringing him and Kyrie back together. Ty couldn't get that job over in LA like he wanted, so why not bring him to his other superstar that he loved? And let's see if he can make some magic happen with Kevin Durant and that.
Okay. That's interesting.
And, I think the Knicks should hire Mark Jackson, just because of the simple fact of what Mark Jackson did with the Warriors, and how he brought that team kind of from the ground and kind of built them up, gave him confidence. I think he could do the same thing with the Knicks. So I kind of like Mark Jackson with the Knicks as a coach.
I like that, but one thing that you gotta have to build from the ground up is talent, and that's something that we're lacking here for the New York Knicks. So I don't know about that.
right, John. You made it.
I ain't
My-
gonna hold you. We
my
gotta
mic-
discuss why you don't like going first in anything, bro. Like we
Bro,
gotta figure this out.
my mic was muted. My mic was muted. I forgot my mic was muted.
This man John was talking, but he wasn't talking.
I was
But,
talking, and then Rodney started talking. I was like, oh, okay, and then I realized my mic was muted. So
he thought he got cut off.
Our first technical difficulties of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, but the show must go on. And
So, sticking on the topic of the Knicks, though, I like the Mark Jackson idea. I'm still sticking with Kenny, like we were talking about off camera. I think Kenny's the way to go. Yes, they're lacking some talent, but there's some talent that needs to be developed there. Frank Ntilikina is a great example. Mitchell Robinson. You got RJ. Kevin Knox can be brought
Just
along.
say Frank Ntilikina?
Bro, Frankie Smokes? Frankie Smokes? I don't want to hear that. No Frankie Smokes slander.
Ain't they draft this man over Dennis Smith Jr. and
And
then
look,
traded for
Dennis-
Dennis Smith Jr.?
And look what
Yep.
Dennis Smith Jr. is doing. Absolutely nothing. So you leave Frankie Smokes alone.
That's
No,
the
no,
Knicks'
no.
fault. They
No,
should have
we're
drafted
gonna-
his ass first.
Listen.
And
I'm
what's
not here
Frank
for-
doing? Nothing.
I'm not here for the Frankie Smoke slander. We're not going to do this. When we're done with this podcast, I'm going to go find you his highlight tape from the year. It's 6 minutes. Sent it to Mike the other night, and you're going to all watch it.
Well, first of
Why
all,
would I want to watch 6 minutes of
First
hot
of all-
garbage?
first, first of all, I do think the idea of having Mark Jackson over in New York actually really makes sense. I feel like I said, the same thing in Brooklyn. Like, he's a player, so he can, as well as he's coaching them, he can educate them and actually have them doing player development stuff. There's certain things that they need over there. Like, I think RJ having him as a coach,
Organization.
RJ having him as a coach will definitely help advance his game. And I like RJ's game, but right now, I don't even know who's coaching over there, but whoever's coaching over there is obviously.
I don't even know the Knicks jerseys look like.
Yo, chill.
All right. That's enough. That's enough with the jokes. Well, let's stick with basketball. And a great player retired recently. Played his last game in the NBA. He was previously on the Atlanta Hawks. He's known as the greatest dunker in NBA history. My favorite player, Vince Carter. Half man, half amazing. Invincible. Vince Sanity, you already know. And, there was a lot of slander coming from my co-host, ladies and gentlemen, about how Vince Carter had, what was the quote? 22 years of mediocrity, which is hilarious to me because he's a multiple-time All-Star, multiple-time NBA team. He has world championships for FIBA. He was on the Olympics. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you could have 22 years of mediocrity. I mean, this came up because I said he's gonna be remembered more than Melo, just off of his dunk contest alone. But so the argument started about that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what my co-host about to say.
like
You know,
Jared
regarding
always
this.
says, you can't speak basketball with everybody.
Can you name something that from Melo that is consistently replayed like Vince Carter's dunk contest? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Bruh, his whole first of all, not even like his whole.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
His whole Syracuse run is going to be one of the most legendary runs of history. Are you serious?
We're going to act like the
Don't
Easter
worry,
game against the
I'll wait.
Bulls. We're going to act like the Easter game against the Bulls didn't happen.
Don't worry. Is that game replayed like Vince Carter's dunk contest?
Yes, bro.
No.
The last
Definitely.
30 seconds of that game.
From Melo fans.
Oh my god, bro.
I'm not here for the Melo slander or the Frankie Smoke slander. I don't know what you guys are doing tonight.
So why is Melo and Frank in the same conversation?
No.
Thank you.
Hey, First of all, I'm gonna do that. Don't put Melo and Frank in the same conversation. And it wasn't Melo slander. It was solely about who's gonna be remembered more. And Vince Carter has the more memorable moments.
Like,
Yeah, but
what? A dunk contest? Ooh.
He jumped over a 7-foot in the Olympics, and that's still played till this day.
By ESPN highlights. It ain't gonna be like some kids gonna be like, hey, Vince Carter
Okay.
for a 7-footer. People are gonna remember Carmelo now more than Vince Carter like 10, 20 years from now. I
Maybe.
guarantee that.
Vince Carter also played in 4 different decades. We can also say that.
Are they gonna
I-
talk when they
I
talk
don't
about
think
who's
Melo
one of the
have
greatest
that.
scorers
How you mediocre for
Scores of
4
all time.
decades?
They're gonna say Carmelo Anthony. Not Vince
First of
Carter.
all, hey, I don't remember one year in Vince Carter's 22 years where he wasn't playing at the start of an NBA season. Melo though, shit, that's tough.
The
Nigga
problem
was
with Vince
mediocre for
Carter,
22 seasons. I don't understand.
the problem with Vince Carter is just he never accomplished anything. Like,
Oh.
can we just be honest? Yes, he won a dunk contest. Yes, he was an all-star. But that was it. Like, what did he accomplish? He put up empty stats on multiple teams. The one champion on the Nets team, he never brought them back to where he was supposed to bring them while playing with Jason Kidd. You go further to when he got to the Magic. He did horrible when it counted the most. And it's just like he never accomplished anything, and that's the problem with Vince Carter in his career. I just think it's more of the idea of Vince Carter that's remembered than what his actual performances for the most
First
part.
of all, half that shit is false because Vince Carter also won Rookie of the Year. Vince Carter accomplished just about the same as Melo, except Melo have an Olympic gold medal because he was playing with Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James, as well
What?
as Kevin,
All right.
as well
All
as
right.
Kevin Durant,
Next topic.
Jason Kidd, Chris Paul.
See, this is what
So
you do. This is what
I'm-
you do. You bring in other players and not keep the topic on track of
What
who
do you
we're
mean?
talking about.
how will I bring? This man just said
We're
that
talking about
This man just
Melo
said Vince Carter
and
put up
Vince
empty stats.
Carter.
How he put up
You
empty
brought up-
stats? He
you
made
brought up-
playoffs. He made.
You brought
Wait,
up
hold on. What
12
did
other
Melo
players
do in
that
the
you
What,
said
NBA?
what did he ever do in the playoffs?
What did Melo do in?
Like his
Where did
most
Melo go?
memorable playoff series is him losing to Allen Iverson.
I didn't have to make the finals.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, tell me another Vince Carter playoff series.
I have to make the finals.
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, tell me another memorable. He didn't make the finals. The Dwight Howard made the. No, they didn't even make the finals that
You
year.
don't even know what you're talking about.
When did Vince Carter go to the finals?
What are you talking about?
George, he didn't say Vince Carter. He's talking about Allen Iverson.
Oh, my bad.
Exactly. All right.
He's
Next
yelling at me.
topic.
He's yelling
Next
at me.
topic.
No, next topic. I want to know. Tell me a Vince Carter.
Just to wrap this up, guys. Vince Carter, we appreciate you for everything that you've done for the game of basketball, and you will be a Hall of Fame player.
Of course. Be a
Yes.
Hall of
Yes.
Famer.
Nobody's
Yes.
not doubting that, but
But he's not going to be more memorable than Melo.
I mean, if Tracy's a fucking Hall of Famer, of course Vince Carter's a Hall of Famer.
no.
Definitely.
Okay. See. Now y'all.
See, I want to have that
bugging.
conversation.
Now y'all
Now-
bugging.
No, another one who did nothing in his career, but all right, that's
Now
cool.
y'all bugging. Now y'all bugging.
Nah, I'm not
See,
getting started
George,
on this. I'm not getting started on this.
yeah, don't get started. We can make that a topic for next week.
That's what I'm saying.
And I
will make-
because
we can make that topic for next week.
Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady both have overrated careers. That's it.
What was overrated about it? Tracy McGrady's career was just injury prone.
Jared, get us out of here.
Made the Hall of Fame.
Jared, get us out of here, Jared. Jared, quick, get us out of here.
What do we get us out? Yo, first of all, Jahir, relax because you barely contributed to this podcast episode tonight. So I'm gonna need you to do a little bit more than just get out of here.
All right, come
Anyways.
on. Next topic, man.
Anyways, let's get to a more serious note. The FBI has reopened the case of Breonna Taylor's untimely demise at the hands of the police. For those that don't know, there was a no-knock raid on Breonna Taylor's home, but it was the wrong address that the warrant was made out to, and she was killed in her sleep in her own home. I believe solely because of the pressure that the government has been getting from these protests stemming from George Floyd's murder, that is the sole reason for why the FBI is now looking into a lot of these cases and has been and this case in particular has been reopened.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not wrong about that. It's definitely there's definitely pressure to, and it's unexcusable, and it should have never been closed. The case should have always been being investigated. I feel.
I'm not 100% sure about the dynamics behind what transpired in terms of the aftermath, because I don't know if the officers were investigated by internal affairs. I don't know what the review was, but to this day, that they're still free walking about where they wasn't on paid leave, nothing. They wasn't suspended, nothing. Um, Jay, I know you had some opinions about this whole situation here. How do you feel about this entire situation at the moment?
I think it's fucked up, and I'm glad that they reopened the case. Obviously, you hit the nail on the head. The FBI reopened the case because of the pressure they're getting from the country right now. You feel me? I mean, shit. That's all I gotta say about it. I just hope for the best. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Everyone, sign your petitions that y'all seen on Twitter, Instagram. Feel me? Keep donating. Keep protesting. Keep our foot in their necks, man.
Keep doing your part. Keep doing your part, everyone. That's the biggest
Mhm.
goal of it. That's what we need to do right now. We can't take our foot off the gas.
Facts. Definitely can't take
Yeah,
the foot off
as
the
we can
gas.
see, we're getting a little bit of progress with the protesting, and they reopened up old cases which they should be. So I'm very happy about that, and hopefully we can get justice for Breonna Taylor.
For a
And
fact. And speaking about progress, Jared, that's a good segue because we could
mhm.
also talk about the Minneapolis police, not the Minneapolis Police Department being uh, defunded, getting dismantled. So,
Indeed,
yo,
that is the talk from the city council that they're gonna defund the Minneapolis Police Department and potentially disband it altogether.
yep, yep. So, what was interesting to me is that the city council was the last city entity to move away from the police department. So, like the Minneapolis school district, the Parks and Recreation, like they had all distanced themselves from the Minneapolis Police Department because straight up they don't do their jobs. You feel me? Like I saw a stat that 22% of rapes get solved in Minneapolis. That's crazy. That's a
That's
crazy stat.
crazy.
You feel me? Like that's just
That's
that's
nuts.
Wait, you said solved, so that's not even like they found the person of interest and then they took them to court, just like they just investigated and figured out that this person did this or whatever.
exactly, bro. 22%, bro.
Bro, so that's basically like they don't even care about the people like that for real.
I ain't gonna hold you. We gotta start just jumping these molesters and rapists, bro.
Not for
For real,
real.
man.
We gotta start
Start
we
jumping
gotta
off
start
shit.
beating their ass in the streets, cause let it be known that a lot of these a lot of women don't even report rape for the simple fact that they don't even trust the police to
To
do
handle
anything
it.
about it. Exactly. So it's like we gotta protect our women, bro. We gotta protect our women from predators and actually deal with a lot of these cases that the justice system can't deal with.
But bro, I feel
Facts.
like it's easy for us to talk about these things because we all have a certain moral compass and we all treat women a certain way. You feel me? Whereas we don't really hold people in our inner circle where there's niggas out there doing that type of stuff. You feel me? So I
Mhm.
feel like it's on us to check our acquaintances. You feel me?
That is true. That is
It,
true.
like women talk. You feel me? Women talk a lot. And unfortunately, you feel me? I had to distance myself from a young man who I found out was doing some dirty shit in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I was wrong for just distancing myself and not checking that gentleman when I found out the information. You feel me?
Hmm.
So I feel like as men, we just have a duty, not only to our women, but just to the better making of society to make sure we normalize that behavior. You feel me?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree. I like the one thing that we like when we was at school together. I appreciated the one thing that we did when we did go out and hang out is that we never violated anybody or any woman in our way. We just went out, have fun, and we respected everybody. And like Josh saying, we got to check others around us. We're gonna hold that standard amongst ourselves. We gotta hold that against other people and everybody.
Yeah, and it's not about playing police either. Like it's not about feel me scoping out the you feel me going up to every single encounter, but like when we get these things that we see, we got to make sure that we make the environment as safe for women as possible. You feel me? Because they're the future. You know what I'm saying?
If we hold our friends accountable, then they'll continue to hold their friends accountable, and it will hopefully be something that spreads just through seeing others do it. It's something I believe where if you don't, you might not be. A lot of people may not be comfortable like saying, "Hey, that's not right." But if you see someone else is comfortable saying it to you or to somebody else, that might give you the confidence to be able to go out and say it to someone else.
But bro,
Agreed.
keep it a buck though. Like it don't even have to be as awkward as, hey, that's not right. You feel me? Like literally, bro. Like I like this is like for me. I remember like one of our last parties when before everything got shut down up at Brockport. Like my man's was super drunk. You feel me? And he was acting a fool and he was around some women and I had to pull him away, bro. You feel me? Yo, bro, chill,
Yeah,
chill. Like come through, chill. Like we wilding right now. He like I'm wilding. I'm like, bro, you wilding. You feel me? So it's like it's not even I gotta go up and chastise him in the moment. You feel me? But I have to remove him from that situation because
Yeah,
he was
almost like you correcting the behavior.
right,
Yeah, definitely. That's what John's saying the whole time. Correct the
right,
behavior.
I
exactly.
think
Yeah,
it's overlooked. I don't think people are gonna think like when people think about that. I feel like people will overlook that like they can do something that simple. And I think like
I
us
feel what
doing
George
that
is
will
saying.
show. Yeah, because like
George is saying like people he feels like people gonna try to overdo it. He just saying keep it simple, check your boy, and keep it pushing. Don't be trying to chastise him and make a scene out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I get what George's saying.
No, I'm not like disagreeing with George. We're on the same page. I'm just expounding on that thought right there because that's just something I just thought of.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
definitely.
no, we knew that.
okay. See, I love this topic and I love this conversation because like y'all said, we gotta hold ourselves to a higher standard and then we gotta hold others to a higher standard because
But
we don't
I
live in a utopia, so we gotta try to make it as good as we can for everybody in society.
you know
I
what I
think
say, man. If you respect women, man, they're the treasures of this earth for real.
Hmm.
we really need to start, and we really do need to look out for things like this. Because the other day, I don't know how crazy your guys' timelines were, but many females that I followed, they were all doing that trend.
Yeah,
They were quoting it. What age were you sexually assaulted? And they were all putting their ages.
Yeah,
And I was learning stuff about females that I've known for, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you're not going to talk to every female. They're not going to come out and talk to you about that. But it was scary to see the amount of females that I follow and the amount that retweeted that tweet with an eight. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I think
nah.
it was really eye opening. Like, this is something that, yes, we may not see it physically, but this does happen. We have to be aware. And like you said, we do have to be, like, even just our friends, we have to hold them accountable. Like, this is unacceptable. Not every female on my timeline that I follow should be able to quote that tweet and tell me an age.
I agree. I'm wholeheartedly with you on
Yeah.
that one.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It actually talking about the twin line situation, it actually was heartbreaking for me to see some of the women that I grew up with or some of the women that I met throughout the time and to see that I was like, wow, they got pain that we don't even know about.
Hmm.
yeah, bro,
And
bro. One,
I'm not sure if y'all saw, but I even saw some guys posting on the
Mm-hmm.
timeline talking about how what age they were either sexually assaulted or molested or even raped. So don't just forget about like it's all women too. Like they even men, y'all gotta look out for y'all little brothers and y'all little cousins too because they're predators for that don't discriminate. So you gotta watch out for that as well.
Yeah,
That's
I,
100% right. I saw a couple guys myself, and like you said, it was shocking.
Yeah. And now, on another note with the police departments, Buffalo had a situation that happened a few days ago where a 75-year-old man was pushed down by two police officers that were in riot gear. He ended up hitting his head and opened his skull to the point where he was bleeding, and it became national attention because he wasn't hostile or aggressive. He just walked up to the police officers. It looked like he had a riot police helmet in his hand. Maybe he was giving it back. We don't know. We haven't heard any audio from the encounter, but we all saw clear as day. The two cops was moving forward. They just pushed him, and then he ended up in the hospital in critical condition.
well, okay. So I did see an audio, like like up close audio version, and there were a couple cops in the midst like of that situation saying, "Oh my God, he's bleeding," but
Hmm.
they didn't stop to really check on him. and like
Mm-hmm.
really see if he was okay. They just said, "Oh
Mhm.
my God, he's bleeding." They kept moving. So at that point, like, do you like what do you? How do you even feel? Like bro, like, do you care? Do you care about that person? Because at the end of the day, he still is a human being. Like those officers that was like, "Oh, he's bleeding." That kept walking forward. You still didn't check on that human being
Mm-hmm.
on the floor. So that makes me think like, okay, do you have a heart?
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm gonna interrupt y'all right there before anybody else say something. Apparently, according to the mayor of Buffalo, in each tactical unit there are medics. So there was also part of the video where they showed a cop, one of the cops that actually pushed the man was going to crouch down looking like he was going to render aid, but another officer grabbed him and pulled him up and moved him forward. Apparently that they're not supposed to break formation because they have medics that are further back and will render aid to anyone that needs aid. I just want to put that in there.
I was just gonna say that, but what my point was gonna be is we need to demilitarize the police. That's a military tactic, bro.
That is a military tactic. I like that you pointed that out. And I do agree with you on that. We do need to demilitarize the police.
It is.
That's interesting.
So the two Buffalo police officers were charged with the shoving, and then
With
Yes,
this
they with the
first degree shoving.
sho- first degree shoving.
felony assault. Yep, with felony assault. Sorry,
Sorry, I should.
I was reading the title of the article. I apologize.
Said first
They were
degree.
charged with felony assault for shoving of the 75-year-old man, and
Yes,
that's what led to the 50 others stepping down because they were charged.
yes,
you
they
imagine?
stepped down from that tactical unit. Yes.
Could you imagine living in Buffalo and knowing those were the people protecting you, though?
Oh, I mean, that's not the first time we've seen a situation or heard of a situation like that. You know, there's something police tend to throw around called the thin blue line. That's regular. That's regular police activity, though. They would defend their own and protect their own.
I
That's
know.
what. That's why a lot of people say that they're gang, bro. That's gang behavior.
It is.
Oh, Jared, what you got to say? Yeah, you pretty quiet over there.
Um, man, this shit is just also crazy, bro. To be honest with you, bro, I ain't gonna sit here and be like, yo, well, the police people are gang, because police sometimes protect the people that needs to be protected. I'm not gonna say like black lives or white. I mean, but they don't protect us at all. But they don't protect us at all. But I mean, but for in some instances they're useful. So I really don't have nothing to say.
I mean, you just said a lot to end up saying you don't have nothing to say.
To say you're not going to say a lot,
Yo,
and you said a lot, and then I'm not saying a lot.
I'm gonna give you some juice, not all of it.
Yeah. I just wanted to, point that out. You said a lot there, Jared. But
yeah,
I understand I understand your point though. You're trying to say that the police do serve a purpose. They do help sometimes when they're needed,
yeah,
and do get a job done at times. But
Yeah.
I do understand that there are times where the police do overstep and they let their egos get a hold of them, because just like everybody else, cops are human too, and sometimes their own inner feelings, their own inner mentality ends up being getting in the way of the job.
yeah. Basically,
And on that note, I think we should take a step back and you know get a explore some other things that have been happening in the country. I'm not sure how many of you are into astronomy or 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 even care about our space program, but the United States are back to sending people to space from the United States. We've been usually using Russia as our way to send people to the International Space Station, but the United States is back to doing that. Shout out to NASA. Shout out to Elon Musk who built the spaceship. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I think that's a good thing for the U.S. to do.
I haven't really been doing my research on it. So all I'll say is
Neither have I. Who in the hell want to care about space?
I don't. You see, like how you said that. I mean, we have a space force. That's a new branch of our military. I don't know if you know that.
I guess that Space Force. I only care about astronomy when Shorty tell me that she the zodiac signs. That's the only time I care, man.
Astrology, that astronomy.
You,
Listen, guys. I think you're all being very ignorant right now. You guys should care about where we're gonna have to live one day.
Yo,
I'm gonna be long dead.
First of all, George, you know the real reason why you want us to go to Mars. So
Hey,
I mean-
don't talk about that.
That colonizing Mars is part of Elon Musk's plan. At some point in time in the future, he wants us to be able to colonize. But I'm just saying y'all don't really care about space, but we got reports that there's an asteroid the size of the Empire State Building hurtling directly towards Earth.
Bro,
So
2020 up 40 right now. It's only the first half. 2020 up 40, son. It's only the first half.
So we found out that that's happening. I mean, do you care about space now? Because shit, you don't care about space and it hits us. We this podcast might not last too long.
And if I care about space and it hits us, what's gonna happen then?
You're still gonna die.
I mean, the podcast still won't last too long.
Oh, okay.
So,
Good to know.
I mean, but you never know. You might be the astronaut that might be in the movie like Armageddon and destroy the asteroid. So
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
how about no? What? How about you go do that?
okay. I'd rather look my killer in his eyes.
2020
Oh,
is what 2012 was supposed to be. That's all I'm hearing right now.
Nah, I seen a post on Twitter where it said they lost 8 years because of the mix up in the calendar.
Yup.
Gregorian.
Oh, wait.
Seems like the Mayans were still right.
no.
Seems like the Mayans were still right. I mean,
So-
so yeah, we have some minor things like that. Yeah.
What's your... All right, I'm gonna ask you guys a question that we didn't have planned. Let's put you on the spot.
Here we go.
What's your guys' preferred way to die? Asteroid or COVID?
I'm gonna step out and not answer this question.
yeah. I don't want to die at all, mother.
Damn,
But
George.
no. But
Do you want to talk about it, George? Like, do you want to talk about it? Like, we could start recording and we could talk about what's going on in your life right now. Like,
Nah,
are
nah,
you-
nah, nah. We're not gonna stop recording. This is some good shit.
no, it's not talking about. I'm just saying, it looks like we have death coming from a lot of ways right now. Word to G-Dog, if you had to pick a way, which one would you pick?
Virus?
Which one would you pick? Like, okay, like, you guys can say you don't want to talk about it or you don't want to choose one, but that's not an option. If you had to pick one, which one would you pick?
Tough. Send me out with the asteroid. I ain't gonna hold you. COVID sounds rough.
Great.
I ain't gonna hold you. An asteroid would make a quick death would make more sense to me. Like, just get it over with. I don't want to be prolonged.
Oh, World War III is also an option.
You said what?
World War III, when the nukes all get dropped.
That's
World War III sounds a bit interesting.
I mean, I don't think there would be a nuclear winter because that's mutually assured destruction.
Jared, get us out of here. Jared. Jared, get us out of here.
A person that already enlisted doesn't want to talk about this because he might be giving away a little bit too much information.
All right,
Yeah,
guys. So, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Wait, no, don't skip forward. We can edit this out. Ja, what do you know that we don't know?
I know.
Yo, my God. So, guys.
Yeah, we
yo,
ending that because I don't want Job to disappear.
Yo, this new
Ja's gonna
music,
disappear.
guys.
I'm gonna disappear.
Yo, Meek Mill dropped a song called "Other Side of America." Man, how do y'all feel about that song?
Shit was mid.
Ooh.
What?
It was mid.
Yeah, relax yourself. We talking about mid, like what?
Bro, it was mid.
Ooh.
Bro, tell me, give me the album, bro. I don't want all these singles talking like it's cool. It was it was mid though for me.
No,
I ain't gonna hold you. He dropped this song during, the political climate we're in, but he ain't really say nothing about it. Like, it made it seem like this song was based on what we go through right now, but he was talking about shit that he usually be talking about. So,
no. That he just reporting live from the other side of America. That's what he just giving you.
so he been reporting live since Dream Chasers
Yo,
one, bro.
yo,
Shit.
Yo, Rodney, stop saying boo, man. Don't get mad because your favorite rapper's retired.
All right,
Ooh.
I was with you. I
Oh.
promise I was with you until you said that. Promise you.
He mad.
If you go,
Yo,
if you guys go on Twitter, I actually retweeted a photo of Rodney's favorite rapper. He was out in the streets of Compton protesting with DeMar DeRozan.
that
because
man is
he's the
retired.
goat. Because he's the goat.
He's retired. Retired goat.
He already said he's dropping soon. Confirmed by
Okay.
TV's very own Top Dog.
That's like when J. Cole said he gonna drop something in February. That shit never dropped.
Shit came
You
out.
mean wait? You mean the shit that was supposed to drop last year?
No, he said in the song when you and K Dot shit gonna drop. He said, "Bitch, never. They can't have the two black niggas this clever." But bet shit gets scary in February when he fuck around and drop, and then it went cut. He didn't drop nothing in February that year. He ain't dropped nothing the rest of the year.
He got tired.
Oh no, but he was actually supposed to drop something last year. That's why I said that.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
He didn't drop it. He was supposed to drop the Fall Off mixtape. He talks about it in the freestyle over the She Wildin beat. I know that's not the She Wildin beat. That's a Nas beat. What?
It's Uchiwali. Uchiwali, bro.
Is it Uchiwali or is it one mic, man?
I think it's Uchiwali.
Yeah, the album of the year freestyle. There you go. That's what it's
I think
called.
it's Uchiwali.
Yeah.
But, oh, while we're on this topic of music, what do you guys think of Kanye playing Inside Man and only being friends
We
with
didn't
Trump?
talk about this in pre-production. Hold on.
I mean, I'm just saying, bro, this is some interesting shit. You know,
Can we save that for next week?
oh, y'all want to make this a whole topic on this by
Yes.
itself?
I find this intriguing. I want to make this whole topic about it.
Hey.
Wait, really?
Ooh.
He pulled a mic.
Well, let's talk about it now. Listen, I'm gonna start off first. Y'all can take yourself a second to compose yourself, think about it. I'm gonna say what I always say, Mr. West. He's misunderstood. That's all I'm gonna say. He's a misunderstood individual.
Nigga gave the whole introduction just to say he's misunderstood. Who is this? Who is this guy?
This what we do? This what we do it? This what we do it?
That's my Kanye take. He's
I
misunderstood.
was with you until you said that.
Oh my god.
You said that shit. I don't really know how I feel about that, honestly. I was very hurt when Kanye said those things he said about like slavery, and he was coming out with the MAGA hat. You feel me? And I didn't support him then. You feel me? I haven't supported him since he dropped that album 2 summers ago.
Oh, that's why you were scared to battle me on IG.
It's all making sense.
Something
All right,
something
tune
that
in
they
next
said
week to
was
Overthinking Hours podcast.
they said Kanye was he didn't get the meeting with Trump until he wore the hat.
Yep.
So
What did you?
Hold on. I want to go back to what Jared just said to me just now because nobody was scared. So I always want to clear that up. I want to clear the air. I just want to address the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? If you want to do it, we can do that. Like it's whatever.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, all right, George. Go ahead, George.
What made you not like Kanye, or what did you not like about Ye? That was gonna be my question for you.
It was mid.
But you said that's like where you stopped messing with Kanye. So you just stopped messing with Kanye because he dropped an album?
I didn't rock with Kanye as a person, and then he put Ye out, and then like I just didn't rock with his music no more. Then he started flipping to the gospel stuff. You feel me? Like it's just not my vibe. You know what I'm saying? So
interesting.
Yeah, like, I haven't really been paying Kanye any attention. I don't really care. I mean, if he drops another Jesus Walks, I'm gonna listen to it. You feel me? But like,
he dropped the old album of Jesus Walks.
No, he didn't. Listen, the biggest miss with Jesus is King, besides it being completely in left field for Kanye's music, is it didn't have that beat from the Sunday service that went viral last year. And I know you all know which beat I'm talking about. It was the very first video.
I really don't know what beat you're talking about.
I think you're talking about the Fred Hammond. The Fred Hammond beat.
The one, it was the first beat to go viral from his Sunday services, and that was the biggest miss with the album, that it was not on there.
It's the Fred Hammond beat, Rodney.
Kurt Franklin.
What's the name of the song?
It's Kurt Franklin. Do You Want a Revolution?
No, not that one. I
know
promise you it was a Fred Hammond song, bro.
Okay, show me the video, and I'm gonna tell you what's up.
I'm literally gonna send the video right now to your phones.
Okay.
Check the Instagram chat, right now.
All right. See,
And I
this
agree
really
with
do
Fred
sound like
him
it need
talk.
to be its own topic.
But we already into
So,
it. We already into it. What we gonna cut it off for?
We almost
nah,
done too, because
I didn't say we were gonna cut it off. Relax, homie. Shit, you want to talk about
oh, that
about
one.
Yeezus? You can talk about Yeezus.
That's
Notice Jared's on the sidelines right now because he want to
Oh,
talk
this
about it.
is Fred
that's a,
Hammond. Yes, you're right. You're
I
right.
come
Right.
on, bro. Right,
I'm
you
just saying the fact that wasn't on Jesus is King. That was a miss.
I mean, he probably had to get it cleared by Fred to do it.
Get it cleared.
how hard is this to get it clear? He's Kanye.
Yo,
I mean, you got like Fred isn't one of the greatest gospel artists, but we're not gonna talk about it.
Who?
All right.
All right.
I'm
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that we've come to the end of our show this evening. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. Once again, it's your favorite co-host, Sean Merritt, Mr. Too Many Nicknames. We got our guy George. We have Mr. Jared,
yes,
Rodney,
sir, Mr. Happy to be here.
and JAH. You already know our guy Ja.
I just like
Thank
to
hey
you.
yo.
know I love women.
I second that. I do, and I want
I
y'all to be
love
safe
all. I
out
love
there.
women.
I love women too, but
I
I
think
want to know.
everybody in this chat, I think everybody on this podcast loves women. I think they know that from our talks. But yeah.
I'm on the same page with y'all, but I want to know why we just cut off the topic when we said we weren't gonna.
All
Okay.
right, it's three,
Bro, it is 12:30.
one.
Someone pick Clapper